Chandra,
Bolo.
Namaste.
Namaste.
After 40 years.
After 40 years, we have to cover 40 years of life. Okay. We met first time in Cascadilla Hall,
Yes.
40 years back in 1972, in upstate New York, Ithaca City, Cornell University. And remember how we met?
Vaguely in the kitchen.
Kitchen, yeah. Kitchen of Cascadilla Dorm. Cascadilla Dorm.
Yeah.
We met. And you were wearing, I distinctly remember, very simple Indian dress.
Navy.
Pajama white and white shirt, not even kurta. And here was Jerry. And I was also wearing some simple dress. And we met in the cafeteria, actually kitchen. And I asked him that Jerry, I asked your name first. I said that I have been eating in Cornell cafeteria. Is there any way I can save my money so that I'll cook or something? She said we can cook together.
That's what I said.
Then I had a problem because I told you that I don't know how to cook. Then you said you will teach me how to cook.
That's right.
Okay. So the first lesson in cooking in my life finally was given by Sherry.
Yes.
And the first thing he taught me is how to cut onions.
That's right. And promptly, the very first cut was on his finger. I remember the blood coming out. But he simplified it. I said, oh, nothing to worry.
No, I also know you because I have heard all these stories many times, and this is the opportunity. So
Verify this.
yeah.
Very clear. So we met that time, we cooked together. He taught me how to cook. I still, when I am in good mood, I cook.
Yeah.
And
Very
I
rarely.
cook with the same recipe, I cook chicken curry.
Yeah, which I give you a
Which
copy
you
of
get,
it.
and I feed my children. But they love it. Now, you know, those were happy days.
Yeah.
And
Innocent days.
innocent days and days of, we were 40 years young. The days of hope and the days of music.
Yeah.
I had just come to Cornell from my complete passion with Hindi music. When I met you, I could see from your collection, you had a collection of LPs.
Yes.
It was a fantastic collection. And I have heard some of the best songs from Hindi movie industry. So we used to go to your room and listen. And when we were listening to your collection, I used to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
And one of the questions still puzzled me is that of all the places in India, you went to Pune.
Yeah.
And you went to Pune for becoming
The missionary.
missionary.
Yeah.
So can you tell me that how that happened, all the way from Arnakulam to
Yeah.
Pune?
That's a very good question. Actually, Ranade, I call him Ranade. You know, I was born into a very orthodox Catholic family. And so, in our house, the priest was considered to be the best personality. My mother's younger brother was born. So whenever he came to our house, he was given the best food, the best bed, the best planted. So I said, it's not a bad idea. So, and my mother and grandmother kept saying, Jerry is a good boy, he will become a priest. And so from childhood I've been hearing this. And so I decided as I grew up, when I reached my 10th standard SSLC, I decided I'll become a priest, but not in Kerala. Because in Kerala, the priests, the idea has been that all the priests were not that, shall I say, sacrifice-minded. But if you went into the north of India and worked for the poor people in the jungles or something, there was heroism, plus the, shall I say, the idealism of the youth. Along with that, there was another reason. I joined a German missionary congregation. And one of the Germans was already living in Bombay. His name was Father George Roch. He was a Prussian, tall, forbidding character. Big blue eyes, and he was going to look at you like. Anyway, he was a great musician. So then someone told me, if you join that congregation, your music will not be, spoiled. They will encourage you. So it is a mixed bag of doing something good, something heroic, something satisfying like music. So I went and joined this congregation. First I was sent to some place called Indore. There we were, boys, 15, 16 who were staying. And they taught us wonderful things. The humanities they taught us very well. In fact, that's what we call the scholastic, European scholastic training. So they taught us languages like Greek, Hebrew, Latin, and German. So many languages, along with our own Malayalam and Sanskrit and Hindi. Yeah, all was there. Then they also gave us an education to what we call the bachelor's. And I took something called logic, got a degree in logic. Anyway, after that, so that is the way. Then after our initial training in Madhya Pradesh, I was sent to a place called Khurda. That's a very unknown quantity. It is a Amaldev in India, surrounded by mountains. It's a small, what do you call, ground. So there was a, what do you call, spiritual training. 2 years of continuous silence practice. Yeah, and then we are supposed to think about the higher spiritual. I had this 2 years of what they call novitiate. That's the technical term. Novice, somebody new to something. So this novitiate is initiating you into the way of spiritual life, what we call among the Christians and Catholics, spiritual life. So it's a time for prayer and meditation exclusively. Practically minimum conversation, except maybe in the evening during the game time or something. While eating, silence. Early morning after getting up from bed also silence. And there is this puja part and all that, silence. Then till breakfast, silence. During breakfast we may speak very softly. And then we have regular classes, all about dealing with this spiritual matter. But fundamentally geared to the teachings of Christ. So I had, but one of the most interesting facet of that life there was something called 30-day retreat. During that retreat is like retreating into oneself. It was 30 continuous days of silence. 30 continuous.
It is
Vipaksha. Yeah. So that was an experience you cannot forget.
I can imagine.
Yeah. 30 days. After that, of course, we were sent from there to Pune for our philosophical studies in what we called in those days the Papal Seminary. Yeah, the seminary organized directly by the Pope from Rome. And he sent a number of highly specialized Jesuits to teach us. They were from Belgium, Germany, Italy, France. So they were extremely erudite men. And so we were given training in philosophy. Now philosophy in those days contained what we call epistemology.
Epistemology.
Yeah. That is, how do we know?
Knowing to know.
Knowing to know. Then we had what we call ethics. What later on the Christians called moral philosophy. But ethics is natural ethics. Then we had cosmology.
What is cosmology?
Cosmology is the study of the universe. Cosmology from a philosophical point of view.
Okay.
And like that, so many subdivisions of the subject. All this was done in Latin. We had to write and speak Latin, and the exams were done viva voce in Latin. Yeah. So all this added to our general erudition.
But then the question comes.
Yeah.
Which adds layers to your life. How did you come to the music?
Yeah. Well, Ranade, I have been singing here. This is my hometown.
Yeah.
I've been singing here from the age of 4, when my head wouldn't reach this height. And my grandmother, mother's mother, and my mother were reasonably good singers. And I think I got my genes from my mother's side. And so whatever I heard, I just reproduced it. Yes. And the kind of songs I heard were, Limjimbar se badalwa, masti hawa mein aaye, piya ghar aaja aaja, piya ghar aaja. Or ye zindagi ka mele, ye zindagi ka mele, all those early Nausha songs. Didar or Mela. धरती को आकाश पुकारे, आजा आजा प्रेम तुम्हारे आना ही होगा. Songs like this.
Then question comes,
Yeah.
It's immediately.
Yeah.
That you come from vernacular.
I am in a
Malayalam.
Yeah.
Okay. How come your family accepted, I would say,
Yeah.
you singing or liking Hindi songs?
Very good question. Don't forget, I am talking about the early 40s.
Of course. Yeah.
Early or late 40s, mid 40s, late 40s.
40s.
In those days, first of all, there were no Malayalam movies.
No Malayalam.
No Malayalam. Malayalam was not even born. Secondly, the kind of movies we had here were Tamil and Hindi. So, my uncles, my mother's brothers, all of them were enamored of Hindi film songs. The earliest memory I have of them is New Theatre's recordings of R.C. Boral.
Wow, that's a long time back.
Yeah, a long time back.
Pankaj Malik.
Pankaj Malik, K.C. Day, Mannade's uncle. All those songs. My uncles bought those gramophone records. And we had a little thing, that gramophone.
Then let's go back to Pune.
Yeah.
Or Pune. Okay.
Pune. Yeah.
You go there to study religion basically and teach that.
That's correct.
And there you were in music.
Yeah.
And what kind of music was it? It was obviously not these songs.
No, definitely.
So can you tell us what kind of music was that and how you learned it actually?
So, since I started knowing the Hindi film songs, and when I went to the north, and also at the same time when I was in the high school, I started going and singing in a local monastery of Catholic priests. And there I learned this Gregorian chant. Incidentally, Gregorian chant and Indian music are sisters, which I did not know at the time. Yeah. For example, so, ni sa ga ma pa ni sa, sa ni da pa ma pa ga ma, sa ri sa. This is Bhimpalasi.
Yeah.
Now, listen to this Gregorian chant. Yes, correct. Yeah. If I sing a Gregorian chant, you will be astounded to see the similarity. Bhimpalasi. So, the connection between European classical music and Indian classical music is indisputable. They are two sisters from the same family.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, with this background, I went to Pune for my higher studies.
Yeah.
There, luckily, these fathers recognized that I have some ability. So, immediately, they put me under Mr. Madhusudan Patwardhan of Pune.
All the persons?
That's right.
Hindustani classic.
Yes, yes. And of course, I had the luck to visit Mr. Vinayakra Patwardhan, his father. A great old
We know
man.
them, by the way.
Yes.
You know a person.
Because we are from Pune.
Yeah. And so, it was a great pleasure to meet him because he came, he appeared to me like a holy man. He was not dealing with money or talking about how much money will I get you, or nothing. He was always singing, and if he asked a question, he will immediately demonstrate it joyfully, He was a grandfather. And so, I used to go to his house where Mr. Patwardhan, Mr. Madhusudan was.
Yeah.
And I used to cycle all the way from Ramwadi to Shanwarpet.
That's not near, okay?
Not near.
Not near.
Yeah. On Saturdays we used to go,
Wow.
2-3 of us.
Amazing.
I tell you what Mr. Madhusudan taught me. टेर टेर रसनाथ तिहारी, टेर टेर रसनाथ तिहारी, विनय करे नित ही तिहारी, टेर टेर रसनाथ। मन मंदिर में नाथ बिराजो, मन मंदिर में नाथ बिराजो, मिटे बिथा जिय की अति भारी, टेर टेर। और this is Kafi. Then there was one in Bihar.
Oh, I love Bihar.
Ragani mala naati ramani, Ragani mala naati ramani, Kamalini bole mode hasuni, Kamalini bole mode hasuni, Ragani mala naati ramani. I like that. I could sing the whole Chota Kaya. So I started learning all these things from Mr. Matsuda Patwardhan, and he was a very good teacher. And particularly, I enjoyed my my recitalship. In fact, after 2 years of 2 years of training, he gave me a tape, quarter-inch tape, full of
those days we used to have
quarter-inch tape, full of his renditions of various ragas.
You have that?
No, I had lost it.
Anyway.
Yeah. So he was so enthusiastic about my growth in the subject.
Yeah.
He gave that as something to grow on later. So that's the way I came to Pune.
But this was happening at the same time you were in Ramwadi.
Yeah, Ramwadi were studies for philosophy.
What a rich life. I can
Yes.
tell you that. And beautiful Pune that time.
Yes.
You were going from Ramwadi
Yes.
to Shanwarwada.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.